Why does this progression sound so good? It is simple yet full of rich tones and musical possibilities. It creates a great starting point for your song or composition. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, these are just 3 chords. What's the big deal? Technically, it's extremely easy, but the musical impact that it can have is absolutely amazing. Artists and composers from all across the musical spectrum have used this chord progression in some way. And in fact, I bet that an artist you like has used this chord progression. If so, drop their name and the song name in the comments and let's get creative. When looking at the basic version of this chord progression, I think there are 3 things that make it sound so good. 1. The melodic direction of the chord progression. This is all about where it starts and where it ends, and also how it moves. Number 2. Chord relationships. And to me the most interesting thing of all, number 3, the harmonic framework. In essence, is it in the Lydian mode, or is it in natural minor, or is it in major? I know that there's so much more to music than only chord progressions, so please let's not fixate too much on this. But they do create the perfect starting ground for beautiful melodies, improvisations, and of course, full songs. And at the end, I will show you how you can sweeten up this chord progression even more, so stick around. When I talk about the direction of the chord progression, I'm talking about which way do all the voices move and what is their end goal. Do they go up? Do they go down? Or do they stay the same? This progression uses parallel movement on all of the voices, and this means that all of the voices move in the same direction. But of course be aware that there are 2 voices that stick out the most, which are the bass note and your top note. In this case, I find it beautiful if the top note is always the 3rd of the chord. Apart from parallel motion, this progression also moves in stepwise motion. And this creates a very smooth movement. It enables a stable atmosphere, creates expectation, and takes your listener by the hand. Number 2. Chord relationships. Something that contributes to this overall smoothness of this chord progression is the fact that the lowest chord and the top chord, they share a mediant relationship. Say what? Chords share a mediant relationship when they are a major or a minor 3rd apart. And most important, because they share 2 of the same notes, this creates very smooth chord progressions. When you switch with normal triads, you only have to change 1 note. And the fact that the first chord is a major chord and the top chord is a minor chord, this creates already a beautiful atmosphere of ambiguity and musical possibilities. Want to learn how to create really great melodies and chord progressions? Check out my video on chromatic medians later, because you will not be disappointed. Now comes my favorite part. Number 3. The harmonic framework. If we only have this progression, what would we see as the tonic chord or as the home key? Is it F major? Well, no, that's not possible because the 2nd chord does not fit in the key of F major. Is it A minor? Well, that could be, but then again, the A minor never is a resting point. Having that as your tonic seems unlikely also. There are no sharps or flats in this chord progression. So when I take a look at the circle of fifths, I can see that this corresponds with the key of C major. But that feels strange because I don't even play the C major chord, so how can that be my home key? Another option is to say that this is in F Lydian. And when I look at where the chord progression starts and stops, this is definitely a valid option. But to really confirm it as being F Lydian, I would need to have more information, especially from the melodic side. This ambiguity is definitely also part of the beauty of this chord progression. It is like a chameleon and it can change colors depending on where it is and what the surrounding is. Now, to make this chord progression even better, you can add a pedal tone to the upper register to create even more color. Just like I did in the intro. You choose a tone that you repeat while the chords, they change. And this creates a beautiful sense of expansion and contraction. It is a perfect technique and I made a very clear video about it, so if interested, check it out. See, such a simple progression and yet so good. It's not without reason that's been used by so many artists and composers. And what do you think about my new music room? All sound absorption panels are handmade by me. Stay tuned for more curiosities and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And for now, see you next time.